welcome back to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I have a feeling this is going to be a hotly contested topic. The Guardians have been in first place just about the entire season. Now, they fell into a tie for first place, but technically they were not in first place because the Royals now have the tiebreaker based on head-to-head games.
Yeah.
Then they won the season finale, snapping a 3-game losing streak to the Royals. In doing so, they have now 1.5-game lead because the Royals lost yesterday and the Guardians were off.
And the Royals, Jay, had 2 big injuries in the game last night.
They did. You know what? Let's get those out there.
Vinny Pasquantino, who's their third best hitter,
has been incredible
besides,
this year.
After Witten Perez, he's their third best guy. He, I believe, broke his hand.
Yes.
He's out for 2 months.
Killed us, too, by the way, at the plate and with that catch he made in left field.
He's really good. He is out for the rest of the regular season. Yeah. And their new closer, who they got at the trade deadline, Lucas Erceg, who they got from Oakland, who's been really good because their bullpen was weak early in the year. He got hurt, too. Now, I haven't seen what how long he might be
I have a feeling it happened in the 4th game. He's the one that blew the lead, didn't he?
Erceg was last night.
Oh, it was last night.
Yeah, there was a it was a comebacker hit him. I don't remember where.
Oh, okay.
So
I thought maybe it was.
I don't know that they've gotten the results of that yet, but if they lose their third best hitter and their closer,
that would hurt.
That's a big deal.
The question for this topic: can they carry the momentum? Let's start with Steven Kwan because I think he's been part of the story. If you look at how Steven Kwan has gone, so have the Guardians.
Yeah, he's been terrible. Yeah.
He was absolutely, now he did get hurt in April, had a small sample size, but when he came back in May, we sat here on this very set and we were discussing, is this guy going to hit 400? None of us thought he would except Tyvis.
Yeah.
But now the question is he going to hit 300? Because he's currently below it. Look at his season splits. If he continues to be this guy, are the Guardians cooked?
Yes. They have to, the way their lineup is set up, because the weakness of their back of their lineup, they have to have Naylor, Ramirez, and Kwan playing at a high level for those guys to be able to win games. He has to just set the table, because if that's out at the first part of your order, now look at it: 6, 7, 8, 9, and
all
1.
those guys, by the way, are hitting at or around 200.
Around 200.
With the exception of 6. It's 7, it goes 7, 8, 9, around 200. And basically, he's been a 200 hitter for the last month.
Yeah.
You can't have 4 guys all in succession in your lineup hitting 200.
So your 5, not including the bullpen, your 5 best players are Kwan, Naylor, Ramirez, Bybee, and Williams, your 5 most talented players.
Yes.
None of the 5 are playing well. In fact, I'd say all of them, except for maybe Ramirez, who's been The rest of them have been terrible for going on a month now. Williams and Bybee have stunk. We just saw Kwan. Naylor has been horrible. They need those 5 guys. If those 5 guys get it together at the end of the year and get hot in the playoffs, the Guardians can go to the World Series. As bad as they played, if those 5 guys are playing well with that bullpen, and, I'm okay with Lively or Cobb or Boyd, some mix of the 3rd and 4th starters, they've been fine. If those 5 guys are playing well, the Guardians are a legit contender. If those guys don't turn it around, at best the Guardians are getting to the playoffs and losing in the first round.
Yeah, I sadly agree with you on this. I am thunderstruck. The only explanation I have for Kwan, did he buy the nonsense that he's a power hitter? Can you give me his home runs by month? Because I'm tracking all of this to at one point he was hitting around 400 and had like 11 home runs.
Right.
Since that point, he's now below 300 and he's got 13 home runs. I think Steven Kwan got caught up in the idea, hey, I'm a power hitter. And that's the only way I can possibly explain why he has plummeted like he has.
I think that's part of it, Jay, but I think, and I know you're watching all the games, and body language. These guys look like they're pressing.
They're tired.
Across the board, they're tired, they're pressing. Steven Kwan looks stressed out when he's on at the plate lately.
He doesn't look comfortable.
No. And I think that's a big part of it. I think they're really, and listen, the good news is they're still in first. They built up such a big lead.
They're still 2 games from having the best record in the American League.
That's right. Right now, they'd still be the 2 seed in the American League. They'd still get a bye. They'd still get a home series in the first round.
But boy, you feel like you're holding on to that with a death grip.
Your life. But the good news is you have 28 games over 4 weeks and change to turn it around and get back on track. You got to take advantage of the Pirates. The Cubs,
because they're not going to see their best pitcher, which kind of disappoints me.
Not pitch,
going to throw.
But think about this: the Cubs, who are like the Guardians, an offensive challenge team, just scored 41 runs in a 3-game series against the Pirates. The Pirates bullpen is a disaster.
It is.
And
would they give up like 10 runs after the 7th inning the other day?
Yes, they did.
How often do you see that?
Right. Their closer, who was good good the last couple of years shows you how important Clase is. Bednar was an excellent closer. Bailey Falter, very mediocre. There are guys who are pitching in the first 2 games mediocre. The Guardians have to take advantage of it. They've got to get the bats going. I do think if they win the division, we'll look back to that game they pulled out against the Royals on Wednesday as what saved the division.
I was at the game Tuesday. I was down on the field for 2 hours before game time, and I was paying particular attention to their energy. And I've been on the field a couple of times this year. I thought this team has unrivaled energy. They were up. They were having fun. Before Tuesday's game, I felt like I was at a wake, guys.
It's not good.
I mean, and I know that they were caught up in what had happened the day before. They just lost the doubleheader the day before. But there was no energy. There was no life. There was no laughing. There was no joking. There was no having fun. Winning is fun and losing sucks. I get that.
The Royals were the fun-looking team.
I was watching them, and I'm going, look at over there in their dugout.
Well, who's the guy that's going to pick guys up? Like
it's got to be Jose.
It's
got to be Jose.
He has to have had a. Usually, it would be Frankie, right? He's always running around.
Sure. Who, by the way, is having a. If it wasn't for Ohtani in the National League, Frankie's the MVP.
That's right.
He's balling.
And if it wasn't for Judge in the American League, Bobby Witt would be the MVP.
You're right.
And by the way, the Guardians right now, they should be sending Tyler Freeman to the minors.
Yeah.
And you're expanding the rosters in 2 days. You send Tyler Freeman to the minors. They should bring up Chase DeLauder. He should be essentially.
He's been hitting it better.
That's right. He should be platooning with David Fry because David Fry has been struggling. He should only play against lefties.
Yep.
And they should bring up George Valera, who's been in the minors forever.
I know.
He's been great. They should have him batting against righties in the outfield.
Interesting.
I mean, let's go. Let's get some fresh bats up here.
The only thing is, boy, that's a risky move in a pennant race. These games are all matter.
But these guys are not hitting.
No,
Fry's
I know.
not hitting.
That might light a fire under some of them.
Yeah.
What are the home run numbers for Kwan?
I got you real quick. In March, he had 20 at-bats, 1 home run. April, 100 at-bats, 2 home runs. May, when he got hurt, 17 at-bats, no home runs. June, 91 at-bats, 4 home runs. That's when he was hitting 374. In July, 100 at-bats, 4 home runs, dropped to 250. In August, 104 at-bats, 2 home runs, hitting 202.
Yeah, as his power numbers have gone up, his batting average has plummeted, and it's a give and take. And a lot of teams don't even look at and prioritize average anymore. They want the power. I need him to get on base and start fires.
I'm surprised he hasn't given him a day off. I know they had a day off. Like he seems like somebody that could use an extra day off.
They all count. They're all big.
I don't know.
We're taking a break. When we come back, the Cavaliers are trying something a little different.